Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 18 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. We are just continuing our time with the Trick Room Hail team that I featured for the last couple of episodes. If you have not seen the last couple of episodes, they are all really exciting, some fun games, and I'm playing 3 games now instead of 2 games, especially because I did miss out on a fair amount of content while I was gone for, weeks here and there. So yeah, we are just going to get into the first game of the day, going up against Patrick, running a Trick Room team as well. This actually reminds me a lot of the Trick Room team that we went up against in, I believe, the second game of yesterday's episode. So as always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. Now, Patrick is running, like I mentioned, a pretty hard Trick Room team as well. We both have the Staraptor, which is really interesting, as well as the Snorlax. But of course, he's got a Rangaroo, the Camerupt, the Ferrothorn, and the Stakataka. So, leading Staraptor for both of us would be kind of interesting. I think I am going to go with Mimikyu and Incineroar. And I'm probably just going to go Abomasnow, Snorlax again. I really do want to bring Glaceon, but it doesn't make much sense to bring Glaceon. Like, I'd have to either drop Snorlax or Abomasnow, because I think Mimikyu and Incineroar are both too important. And then it's like, you can't really drop either of those. So, yeah. Ultimately, like, Glaceon's just not that great because my opponent does have the Ferrothorn and the Stakataka, both which are steel types. Obviously, do you hit the Ferrothorn for neutral, but like it just doesn't seem that great to go up against. So let's see what my opponent decides to lead with. It's going to be Staraptor and a Rangaroo. Okay, so still decided to bring Staraptor, which is kind of interesting. It's most definitely going to be Scarfed. The Intimidate actually does go a long way, though. It does prevent me from potentially... what do I want to say? The Intimidate, yeah, it does prevent me from just, like, doubling up a Rangaroo for a knockout. So, turn 1. How do I want to approach this? I could, like, double up onto the Staraptor slot, but Staraptor easily could just hard switch right now. I kind of want to knock off a Rangaroo and go for a Trick Room, predicting a Rangaroo to Trick Room. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go for. Kind of similar to what we did in yesterday's episode. Staraptor actually ups to close combat. Okay, so it stays in, goes for close combat. That doesn't even come close to knocking me out with the Intimidate. So that's fine regardless of whether a Rangaroo goes for the Trick Room or not. It actually goes for a Taunt instead, which is interesting. Not what I expected. It's also faster than both of my Pokemon, so that's also good to confirm. The knockout there, however, still does a ton of damage, and it does have the Mentor. It does prevent me from Trick Rooming, but that's fine. Okay. So we might see, like, another close combat. We could even see, like, close combat and then Instruct. Otherwise, I think Staraptor would switch out here. I kind of want to swap Incineroar out here into... Who would I switch into? I guess Abomasnow isn't that important. I think I might even be able to take 2 close combats, though. I'm just going to go for the play rough onto Staraptor and go for another knockoff here onto Rangaroo. Yeah, I think if I deny Trick Room, I'd probably win this. The Staraptor does just stay in close combat. Yeah, another one will knock me out. That did more than I expected this time around. So it looked like it was a slightly lower roll the first time. So, looks like we're not going to see the Instruct, though. Unless I speed tie with the Rangaroo. It's going to just be a foul play coming out. Okay, interesting. Into Mimikyu. So that'll break my Disguise, but I feel like this is still pretty good for me. I mean, oh no, yeah. The reason why, of course, Mimikyu was slower last time was because I was trying to Trick Room. So I actually won't get the knockout there on a Rangaroo, but that's fine, honestly. I'm thinking it's probably actually better to conserve Incineroar here and just go for the knockout onto a Rangaroo. So I'm just going to go for the play rough onto a Rangaroo and swap Incineroar out. Who would I rather switch into? I think Abomasnow is just less important in this matchup overall, so I'm going to just swap out into Abomasnow. Yeah, and then that threatens the Staraptor with Ice Shard as well. So, yeah, I don't really mind Trick Room not being up immediately, especially with Incineroar and CB Snorlax in the back. So this has been a pretty interesting game, mainly because, Staraptor actually staying in and clicking close combat. So it looks like it will stay in again. That's fine. Abomasnow is weak to close combat, but it should be able to survive decently well. Especially because most Staraptors aren't going to have any attack investment. You go like max HP and speed for the final gambits. Yep. So there's close combat coming out. As long as I don't misplay rough, it should be fine. As I survive with over 50%, which is quite nice. That initial intimidate really paying off. So hopefully I don't miss this. Mimikyu's play rough. Does actually miss the Oranguru, which makes this kind of interesting. That's probably not the end of the world here, though. Does Oranguru faint from hail? Let's see. It does faint from hail. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, it just ends up getting an extra foul play off. Taunt does wear off, though, which means now I can Will-O-Wisp, which is really nice, because presumably my opponent's going to have some of those physical type attackers in the back. But, yeah, this is kind of interesting because it's like Trick Room versus Trick Room, but then neither of us are actually setting up Trick Room. But Staraptor and Oranguru aren't exactly like the most offensive of threats. So Camerup's actually going to come in now for my opponent. That is a little bit scary to see, I would say. With Camerupt coming out, does Staraptor stay in? I kind of want to swap Mimikyu out into Incineroar to get rid of my Intimidate. And go for a Blizzard with the Abomasnow. But then it would be Mimikyu and Snorlax against my opponent's last two. Really comes down to what the last one is. I guess I should just Z-move here, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to Z-move and Mega Evolve in Blizzard. Reason being is because I think Incineroar is actually more important to have in the back versus my... Because it's going to be Ferrothorn and Stack Attack as the last one. And Incineroar like destroys both of those, whereas Mimikyu doesn't do as well. So, yep, just a Mega Evolution coming out from both ends. Missing the play rough last turn was a little bit unfortunate, just because had I connected, I wouldn't have taken that extra damage. That might actually come into play. Camerupt actually ups to Protect. Okay, interesting. So that means Mimikyu does stick around for a little bit longer. I will knock out the Staraptor. No crit there, fortunately. And that means I could also potentially Will-O-Wisp whatever is coming in. I'm going to get a little bit of chip damage through the Z move. And obviously I could have Ice Sharded, but I'd rather have gotten a Blizzard off, especially if Staraptor switched out. Because I'm going to faint anyway with the Abomasnow. So that's why I stayed in. Alright, so I'm up 4-2 now after the Blizzard and the Never Ending Nightmare. This is not going to do anything to Camerupt, but this plus Hail at least chips it down a little bit, and any chip damage against this could be important. Yeah, that does nothing. But that's fine. I'm not going for like incredible damage output against Camerupt anyway. So Staraptor's been close combating this whole game. It will finally go down 4-2 now, and let's see what my opponent has in the back. If it's Incineroar, I'll feel really good about my positioning, or my chances of winning this one in general. If it's Stack Attacka, then we're in for a little bit more mind games because of the potential Trick Room that my opponent can set up, and it is going to be that Stack Attacka. Okay. Shiny Stack Attack. I have not seen one of those. That looks really cool. I want to just Will-O-Wisp it and Blizzard, I think. Yeah. I think I can win the game with... because high horsepower from the Snorlax should be able to just knock out both of these things. And I'm also thick fat, so I can deal with Camerupt. And then I've got Incineroar for Fake Out as well. So, right now, the goal is just to get some free switch-ins. Will-O-Wisp also prevents Stack Attack. Like, if I get the Will-O-Wisp off against Stack Attack, my opponent really can't touch Snorlax very well at all. Mimikyu should be faster than it. Stack Attack, of course, also could opt for Trick Rooming, but I'm actually not sure how the speed stats will play out with my Snorlax. No switch-outs. Or, sorry, there are obviously no switch-outs. I do hit the Will-O-Wisp, which is nice. So, that will prevent it from doing as much damage. And Abomasnow is actually going to get the Blizzard off first. Okay, so it is faster. Presumably this means I'm going to eat like a Heat Wave and a Trick Room. As it's actually going to be an Earth Power coming out instead of a Heat Wave. That's interesting. Maybe Stack Attack is just going for... Well, presumably Stack Attack is Trick Rooming here. It's going to be a Z move. Oh, never mind. It's just going for the Rock Z move. I thought surely it would have wanted a Trick Room, but that's even better for me because now I just get a free switch it into Incineroar and Snorlax. Yeah, I don't actually remember the exact speed stat of Stack Attack. I think Snorlax actually maybe just outspeeds it. So, yeah, Continental Crush, kind of a waste there. Not necessary given that I had 21 HP, but maybe my opponent was hoping that I would protect. I didn't really have much reason to protect, though, because I figured I'd be faster with the Bomb Snow. So, Stack Attack does get an attack increase, but now both of my opponent's Pokemon are really heavily damaged. I got Incineroar to cycle him back in for Fake Out, and then Choice Band Snorlax. So yeah, this was I don't know, kind of a weird game, because Oranguru and Staraptor don't do much damage, and then my opponent didn't ever set up Trick Room either, maybe fearing that I would be slower, but my Pokemon are faster. So now I can just bring in Incineroar and Snorlax, yeah. And I think I can just Fake Out the Stack Attack. I mean, Stack Attack is not really even doing much damage at this point. I want to Fake Out Camerupt and High Horsepower, I think. Yeah, because I think Snorlax is going to be faster. Hail damage is taken down. Fake Out plus Hail means that Camerupt surely will be in KO range. Stack Attack protects, that's perfectly fine. Doesn't really matter. In fact, that's actually even better to see, because it just means that this Camerupt now will definitely faint this next turn. I wasn't sure whether I could knock it out with like a knockoff or a low kick or a Flare Blitz in the range that it's at, but that Fake Out means I now definitely will. As we see the hail damage also take down, revealing like Camerupt is, and Stack Attack are both slower than Snorlax. So yeah, I'm surprised my opponent didn't try to set up Trick Room, but even if my opponent did set up Trick Room, once I got the Will-O-Wisp off, I figured Snorlax could win this game with the ability to go for high horsepower with Choice Band. So yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I played like exceptionally well this game, but I feel like my opponent just was too afraid of Trick Room, or setting up Trick Room, and he or she really needed to go for it. So knock off here will knock out the Camerupt, and high horsepower will just knock out Stack Attack. So yeah, Trick Room definitely would have helped my opponent more. But even if it had gone up, like I mentioned, I feel like I actually felt pretty confident about my endgame, because both of my opponent's Pokemon were in high horsepower KO range, and the Stack Attack was burned. So Stack Attack is not doing much damage. It already committed its Z move, and then Camerupt is, you know, using either fire type attacks, which barely touch Snorlax, or earth powers, which also don't do too much to me. And that also means that you have to commit to, like, if you don't target down the Incineroar, then the Incineroar can just knock out either of the two Pokemon as well. So ultimately, yeah, seeing my opponent lead Staraptor was kind of interesting, especially choosing to lock into close combat, because it's not like that's the best option. And it actually makes some sense. I mean, my Incineroar, my Abomasnow, my Snorlax are all weak to close combat, I guess, but like Staraptor it really wants the final gambit. If it doesn't final gambit, it's just in a pretty awkward spot. So I was able to play around that, and then the Oranguru going for the taunt originally was interesting. I feel like my opponent maybe had a better shot of winning this if he just set up Trick Room himself, but we're going to go up against a rain team for our next opponent of the day, and I really do want to bring Glaceon into this one, so I'm going to do my best to bring it. But it's going to be Pelipper, Ludi, Swampert, Koko, Incineroar, and Celesteela. So, how do I want to approach this? This might actually be a Mimikyu Snorlax kind of game. I wanna bring, I feel like I kind of need Incineroar for the Celesteela, but I do have Will-O-Wisp. You know what? I'm gonna try to feature Glaceon a little bit more. I feel like he could put some work here. So maybe Lax with the Abomasnow Glaceon. I guess this seems kind of silly if my opponent has Incineroar in the back, in which like my Incineroar deals with my opponent's left side team really well. So Incineroar, Koko, and Celesteela, like it completely walls pretty much most of it. Can take the attacks really well, can get in intimidates, and can threaten with super effective attacks. But yeah, I feel like Rain is one of the matchups where Glaceon can actually make an appearance, especially the Ludi, Swampert, and Pelipper core of my opponent's team. And you have to bring at least one of those. Presumably it's going to be Pelipper, but if it's going to be Incineroar, Koko. Okay. This is pretty interesting, actually. Because you obviously can't fake out the Mimikyu. Incineroar could be inclined to knock off. I kind of want to just Trick Room, but I have to be worried about a taunt as well from the Koko. I'd love to just stay in and self-destruct as well. I think I'll still try to Trick Room here. And I kind of want to just explode. Yeah, I'm just going to try to self-destruct here. Ideally, like... Okay, so Incineroar fakes out, that's fine. The question is whether Koko has taunt or not. It doesn't, so it just goes for a Volt Switch. Okay. So that does mean that I do get my Trick Room up, which is at least nice. But, and Coco's not a threat to me at all, really, in this game. So I'm not worried about that. It's just who's coming in right now. It is Celesteela, okay. It's not too shocking to see. And Trick Room will go up, okay. So now the question is, how slow is the Celesteela? Because I do want to just go for a Will-O-Wisp onto it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp here, and I'm actually not going to self-destruct now. I'm just going to high horsepower into Incineroar. I don't want to self-destruct because, ooh, Incineroar Ops goes for the Snatch. Does that steal Will-O-Wisp? I actually don't know. I don't think high horsepower one-shots it anymore. Yeah, not with the Intimidate. And Celesteela goes for a... Huh? Was that intentional? What? Was my opponent trying to, like, steal the substitute? If so, that was really cool. Like, I'm honestly okay with that. Because I got the burn onto the Celesteela, which is honestly more important. But that was really interesting. I think I want to just high horse. Yeah, I mean, this is where it's like if I had Incineroar, it'd be really great. But, oh well. I'm going to high horsepower Incineroar again. And yeah, I mean, like, both of these Pokemon can switch into Fire or Steel very well, so I might just sack the Mimikyu and just go for the Z move onto Celesteela. Yeah. Still not the worst of position. That was a really crazy last turn. I've never seen that before. Snatch and Incineroar isn't the craziest thing, but it was like the combination of Snatch and then stealing his own substitute. Which was... I'm wondering if that was intentional. Like, you'd assume maybe my opponent would know those mechanics, as Steel is going to go for a sub. That's actually even better for me. So, Incineroar is going to get the knockoff. That will knock out my Choice Band. That does so much. Crits me. But I'll knock out Celesteela's sub now. Okay. The crit is very annoying, because without the crit, I don't think I'm in KO range from anything, but now I potentially am. And right now, my Mimikyu is slower than everything. I just can't switch into Abomasnow for free yet. So that's all kind of frustrating, but Celesteela is slowly getting chipped down right now. And that should knock out the sub, yeah. It is lefties, okay. I think it's just going to keep trying to sub. I'm going to try to knock out Incineroar right now. With the play rough. Could self-destruct. This might actually be a good time to self-destruct. Yeah, get some chip damage and get a free switch in. Because Incineroar is not going to do much to Mimikyu anyway. I guess the... Yeah, the only question is, can self-destruct plus play rough knock out Incineroar with the Intimidates? Let's see. Okay, that should. Nice. Celesteela actually ups a Heavy Slam instead. Okay, that's fine too. I could lose both of my Pokemon, but that does mean 2 free switch-ins, which, honestly, I'll take. Especially because Incineroar is Flare Blitzing, so that means it'll knock itself out. So now I do get Glaceon in, finally, and Incineroar goes down. So let's see if this is Glaceon's time to shine. We know there's Coco in the back. That's not really a threat. So the question is really who my opponent's last Pokemon is. Presumably it is that Pelipper, which honestly I'm okay with, like, especially because I can control the weather by Mega Evolving. But this will be a tight finish to the game. I believe there are 2 turns of Trick Room left. So yeah, I'd rather see the Celesteela, and Pelipper comes in. Okay, cool. So that's actually really nice because it means I get control of the weather here. Now Hail's gonna go up first. So Rain will get canceled, but I can Mega Evolve. The only downside is, of course, Pelipper can just switch out. So the question is, I mean, surely my opponent should know I'm Mega Abomasnow. But that means you'd have to switch out into Coco. And like I said, I think there are 2 turns of Trick. Oh, it's the last turn of Trick Room. I kind of miscounted that, actually. It's just bad on my end. If I had 2 turns, I'd feel really good right now. 1 turn does make this a little bit harder, but I'm still just going to Mega Evolve and Double Blizzard. Both Pokemon stay in. Surely you'd imagine they're both protecting. Even if they are, though, this opens the door for Glaceon to just Blizzard next turn. Let's see. This is going to be big. If neither protect... I mean, if one doesn't protect, I think I just win the game. There's the protect on Pelipper. Does Celesteela protect as well? Ooh, it doesn't. Okay. That's so huge. Because that... Oh, unless it outspeeds Glaceon and it has Flamethrower. No, okay, nice. Finally, Glaceon gets his first Blizzard off in the series. And that will knock out the Celesteela. And that's actually so nice because that means I have weather control now for the remainder of the game. Like, I get Hail Up. This is still scary, though, mainly because of the Coco in the back. And electricity disappears just at the right time, so Coco can come back in. So the question now is, does Coco have the Gigavolt Havoc? Because with Hail, I think Energy Ball plus an Ice Shard should knock out the Coco. The other question is whether Pelipper hits the Hurricane through the Hail. Because I think the best action is to protect my Glaceon here to potentially take a Gigavolt Havoc. And Energy Ball the Coco, so it's an Ice Shard KO range. So ideally, Coco Gigavolts Glaceon, and Pelipper misses Hurricane against Abomasnow, which would win me the game. So there's Gigavolt. Please tell me it's targeting Glaceon. If my opponent doubles up into... Like, my opponent still needs to hit a Hurricane out of rain anyway in order to have a shot. If it misses, then I surely win the game. But here's Gigavolt coming up. Presumably this is targeting down Glaceon, you'd imagine. So, let's see. Yeah, okay, nice. So that's good. That's what I expected. No protect from the Coco, which is also nice. Glaceon takes that. Pelipper does Hurricane. It does connect. Doesn't knock me out. No. No confusion, please. Okay, nice. So that means I do get the Energy Ball off. And that actually almost knocks out Coco, which is actually perfect for me. Because now, even if Coco protects, I can just Ice Shard the Coco and press Blizzard with Glaceon. In fact, I actually should just Ice Beam instead of Blizzarding. Yeah. So I'm just going to click Ice Shard onto Coco, knock that out. Pelipper now needs to hit Hurricane and confuse Glaceon, or get a crit. And the reason, yeah, Ice Beam just does more damage. I know Ice Shard here will knock out Coco, so no protect from the Coco, which means that is gone now. So it's 2v1. Let's see whether Pelipper opts for the Hurricane or not. It is going to Hurricane. It is going to target the Glaceon. Does it confuse me? No confusion. Nice. So I get the Ice Beam off. Glaceon finally putting in a lot of work this game, actually. It does just get the knockout onto Pelipper. So, Life Orb Ice Beam. Don't count it out as Glaceon hangs on with the sliver of HP. That was really intense. That was so close. But I figured my chances of winning there were pretty good in the end. Of course, my opponent could have actually doubled up onto Abomasnow with the Dazzling and the Hurricane. But I figured, okay, that means my opponent, 1, has to make a good read, and then 2, also hit the Hurricane. Because if you miss the Hurricane, I just win. So I like my odds there. And ultimately, the Coco did go for the Gigavolt into Glaceon, which was really good. So, yeah. Glaceon finally does come out, and honestly, yeah, it's kind of tough bringing it, obviously, against, like, because my opponent did end up bringing the entire left side of the team, which was Coco, Celesteela, and Incineroar. So, obviously, like, my Incineroar would have helped me out, but I honestly wanted to feature Glaceon, and I feel like it did put in work there, because once I was able to get it in, like, my opponent just had no pressure. And I feel like it was definitely a mistake to not swap Pelipper out into Coco. Because then I would have been trying to, hit blind blizzards. And when my opponent just stayed in with Pelipper, maybe not expecting the Mega Abomasnow, I was able to win the game from there. That gave me, like, just a lot more room to work with. But our next opponent of the day, also another Incineroar, also another Staraptor. It's funny, I try to use these Pokemon, and then the Staraptor we see 2 of in 3 games. But Staraptor, Gengar, Incineroar, Feeny, Landorus, and the Alolan Persian. So... Glaceon actually maybe could put in work here, but I suspect, like, what do you lead with here? I feel like Feeny is always a really good option. Feeny and Incineroar is very safe against my team. It's very safe. So I could go my own Incineroar and Staraptor, which is actually kind of interesting. Mimikyu is still decent here, but not against the leads. The goal should be to knock out the Incineroar. So I think I'm actually going to go Staraptor. Never mind. This is really tough. I think my opponent goes Incineroar Feeny. Maybe I'll still go Mimikyu. Mimikyu, Incineroar, Abomasnow, and... Alright, Glaceon, you put in work that last one, but I think I'm going to have to keep you on the bench this time, unfortunately. I just feel a little bit more confident with Snorlax in this one. But yeah, well, I think like that last game also features like Glaceon really strong if you can just click Blizzard or Ice Beam. Really weak if your opponent can deny Hail or can have Pokemon that take Blizzards really easily. So I'm gonna go with Mimikyu and Incineroar. Threat and Fake Out. Threat and Knockoff. It's gonna be Gengar and Incineroar instead. I'd much prefer to see Gengar out here instead. So I'll take that. This is interesting. So we both get our initial Intimidates off. I probably want to switch Incineroar out. Yeah, I want to switch Incineroar out. Although I guess the question is like, who would I even switch into? I could also just fake out Incineroar and like try to Trick Room. But of course I could get taunted. I kind of want to just Z-move Gengar. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go for that. I'm going to fake out Incineroar and Z-move Gengar. Because my opponent could try to double up onto Mimikyu right now. It is Mega Gengar, no switch outs. Of course Gengar could protect, which would be kind of ugly. But even if it protects, then I can just Shadow Claw it next turn. Okay, no protect. Nice. I think it might try to taunt. Oh. That is certainly interesting. Especially because I did not see that coming from my opponent's team composition at all. But okay. I mean, I'll get my Z move off. Ideally, this just knocks out the Gengar. Because that would just put me up a huge amount. Even if it doesn't, though, it's still not the end of the world. So, there's the Never-Ending Nightmare. Targeting the Gengar, super effective. Of course, however, Intimidated. I feel like this should still knock out. I hope so. Okay, nice. That's perfect. That is really, really nice. Because I don't even lose my Disguise, and now my opponent can't even trap me in. So I can just switch out of his Perish Song. Yeah, I just was not expecting Perish Song from that Gengar. Because there's no other, like, Shadow... Like, normally when you see Perish Song, you use it either at the end of the game, or you have Pokemon that can synergize really well with it. So Feeney's going to come in now, but that's honestly fine, because what I can do this next turn is just go for a Trick Room, and I can also knock off the Feeney's item. And then I can just switch in Snorlax, and without Feeney's item, I can just double edge it cleanly. So Trick Room, that's not Trick Room. Trick Room, and a knockoff onto Feeney. Yeah. My opponent's, I mean, Feeney should be faster than Incineroar, so it's not like you can even knock off my Assault Vest and then Muddy Water. Whoa, what is with these substitutes today? As Incineroar just Flare Blitzes, that's fine. Feeney. Flare Blitz is Incineroar. I guess predicting a switch out into Abomasnow. And so I unfortunately won't be able to knock out the item there with the knockoff, but that's fine. I might want to divert my attention now towards Incineroar. Let's see. It's sub-lefties. Normally if you, I mean, like, you want Muddy Water and Calm Mind. Both their Perish count down a little bit more. I think I'll just play rough to try to knock out the sub. And just go, honestly, for a low kick against the Incineroar, yeah. Now that I know it's, like, it didn't Calm Mind, it didn't go for, and it has sub, so, like, Feeney's not going to do much damage to either of my Pokemon right now. Low kick still does an okay amount to Incineroar. I do misplay rough, which is annoying. That's kind of a drag, but okay. Flare Blitzing again into Incineroar, that's fine. And just the Moonblast, also fine. The thing is, now my opponent's Incineroar is also on the last turn of Perish Song, so like the question is, does it stay in? Because I want to double switch right now. The only issue is if my opponent actually calls it and goes for a Flare Blitz into the slot. Like, that means you'd give up Incineroar, but if you Flare Blitz the Abomasnow coming in, that could be bad for me. So maybe I actually don't risk it at all. Because Mimikyu is actually not that important to me anymore. So maybe it's actually better to just get rid of the sub and switch in Snorlax. Yeah, I like that a lot more, actually. So I'm giving up my Mimikyu, but honestly, I think Mimikyu has done its job here. I guess the one thing that would be nice for it to have around is so I can self-destruct next to it. So let's see if my opponent's Incineroar stays in. It does, which is perfect. Because that means the Incineroar is going to go down, and Play Rough does connect with Feeney as well, which is great. So, yep. The Disguise will, or the sub will faint. Oh! U-turn Incineroar. Interesting. I guess that makes sense when you have Perish Song and Mega Gengar. That's fine. As Persian does come in. Okay. That's okay. And just a Moonblast into the Snorlax slot, which is correct. Special attack drop, that's fine. The lefties is annoying. I wish I was able to, like, sub-lefties on Feeny. That's so interesting. So my Mimikyu will faint, but that's okay. Because it means I get to bring in Abomasnow. How many turns of Trick Room are left, actually? I need to double-check that. Maybe I should have actually brought in my own Incineroar to get the Fake Out, but I want to force my opponent's Incineroar to come out. If I knock out this Feeny, I'll win the game. There's still 2 turns of Trick Room. So, if you're my opponent, what do? I would swap Feeny out into Incineroar and Fake Out. So I'm going to predict that. I'm going to... And who would you Fake Out? Probably the Snorlax, yeah. So I'm going to Blizzard here. And go for a Double Edge into the Persian slot. I feel like Feeny should switch out here because Incineroar is a pretty free switch in. You could also switch Persian out into Incineroar, but I'd be totally okay with that because a Double Edge should just knock it out. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the U-turn. I guess it ended up like the same effect that I'm having. I could have double switched. No switch outs here, which is interesting. Okay. That's very interesting. What's going to happen? Persian fakes out. Going to target the Snorlax. So I could have Energy Balled there. I suppose Energy Ball wouldn't have knocked out Feeny anyway, but... I mean, I think I'm still okay with that. Persian takes so much damage. And Feeny is just going to Moonblast. Okay. Going to target down the Abomasnow. It does get a special attack drop. That is annoying. That's really annoying. Okay. Presumably, like, Persians don't normally have Protect, and it's the last turn of Trick Room. I could Protect Self-Destruct, but I don't think it's good to Self-Destruct right now. I think I'd rather just launch a Double Edge into Feeny and Blizzard again. The only downside, Persian could switch out into Incineroar. So maybe I want to Double Edge Persian and just Energy Ball Feeny. Yeah. The special attack drop is annoying, though, because without that, I surely get the knockout. But yeah, the Feeny does go for the Protect here. Persian shouldn't have... Oh, it actually does have Protect. Wow. Ah, that special attack drop hurts a lot. I don't... What item does this Persian have either? It should be in berry range if it has it. Now, surely you foul play... Okay, so Persian Berry still isn't activated, so I don't know if it has it or not. Yeah, surely you foul play Snorlax in what, Muddy Water? Incineroar should be able to take that. I think I'm still just going to Energy Ball the Feeny here and switch out into my Incineroar. Slightly longer episode for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoy it, though. Yeah, this game is definitely taking a while, but it's pretty fun. So I'll get Incineroar out. The Intimidate doesn't matter much, but what's important is keeping Abomasnow safe. We actually see the Parting Shot come out into the Incineroar slot. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, because the Intimidates are fine. That's a smart play. I thought Foul Play would have made maybe more sense for my opponent's end, but that also makes a lot of sense. This is still okay because I do finally get an Energy Ball off against the Feeny, but I won't knock it out because unfortunately, of course, my opponent did get the special attack drop. Which is still definitely frustrating, but just got to play around that right now. Feeny's just going to Moonblast. That's fine. Hopefully not another drop. Going to target the Incineroar, which is perfect. That doesn't do that much damage, and I will get an Energy Ball off. So that was like an ideal turn there, I would say. Energy Ball still does a ton to Feeny. Obviously doesn't knock it out, though, but I'll take that. Okay. And it's Citrus Incineroar. Interesting. Yeah, that's actually more annoying for me in the position that I'm in right now, but oh well. Let's see. this turn, what do you do? Because I could fake out Incineroar, but Incineroar could easily fake out a Abomasnow. This turn is tough. Like, does it just Flare Blitz? I really want to gamble here and to just attack with Abomasnow. But that's so risky. I think I'm actually going to go for it, though. I'm running out of time here. I guess... No, that's not a good play, because I think Incineroar is going to target... You're going to fake out anyway, or Flare Blitz. Unless this fake out... Wow! That actually worked! I don't know. I still don't think that was a great play, but... Okay. Wow. That's so good for me. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like, because... I guess my opponent needed the chip damage from the fake out to knock me out, which would explain some, but why go for the fake out there? Why not just low kick then? I guess to prevent me from fake outing, which would make sense, yeah. Okay. So this is really down to the wire, but I actually feel decent about my position now. It's the last turn of Hail. I think the best course of action is really just to get Incineroar in for free. So I'm just going to protect and attempt to self-destruct here. Does Ice Shard knock out Persian? That's the question. Because I could also swap Abomasnow out into Incineroar. I think that might actually be the better play. And try to high horsepower the Incineroar. To reset the Hail, that's the main reason. Okay, so Incineroar will come out, get the Intimidate off against my opponents. Hail's going to reset, and then I'll be able to bring in a Abomasnow back in. I don't know, actually. This is pretty risky. Alright, Persian's going to foul play into the Snorlax, presumably. Yep, so I'll get the knockout. And I think we should just see a Flare Blitz. Yeah. Right, let's see how much this does. Okay, yeah, that doesn't do anything. So Hail stops. Now, I get to bring Abomasnow back in, so I can fake out Blizzard the Incineroar. The question is whether Incineroar has Protect or not. You would think it doesn't have Protect, because it is... Like, we've seen Fake Out, we've seen U-Turn, we've seen Flare Blitz. You would think it has, like, Knockoff. So I'm going to Fake Out Incineroar. I don't think a Foul Play should knock me out. Oh, but Foul Play plus... Does Ice Shard knock out Persian? I don't think it does. I'm going to Fake Out in Blizzard. Foul Play plus Hail might knock me out, but Persian does Protect, which is actually what I want to see, because now I can Ice Shard it next turn. Oh, Incineroar actually does have Protect. Wow. So it's Flare Blitz, U-Turn, Fake Out, Protect. Which is interesting. Okay, because this means now Persian's in Ice Shard KO range, but I think I faint from a Flare Blitz from the Incineroar. Well, I don't know, honestly. It is really close. I might not. I'm definitely going to low kick here. And I'm just going to Ice Shard the Persian. Yeah. I can't believe both of them had Protect. Okay, well, let's see if Ice Shard can knock out Persian first of all, because if not, I think I lose. Okay. I need to survive a Flare Blitz right now. I'm not sure. He's going for it. It's got to target the... This is targeting Abomasnow? Oh, wow. I just win. I guess my opponent just wasn't expecting Ice Shard and was just being like, okay, I can just foul play you. But now I just got low kick off. Yeah, I feel like you got to target Incineroar there, because you know my Abomasnow is not going to be able to knock out your Incineroar. That was a crazy episode. Dang, that was really crazy. Yeah, really good game. Really good games in general. I mean, we do get another 3 wins, which is quite nice. I'm pretty happy about how I played it overall. I'm glad I got to feature Glaceon more as well. But definitely one of the longer episodes for you guys. I mean, almost at 40 minutes, so about like 10 minutes longer than usual. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the extra content. I am really doing my best to make these games as enjoyable as possible, and that's why I did want to use a more creative team. And I had a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun, so hopefully you guys have been enjoying watching them as well. But yeah, that was kind of an anticlimactic way to end the game. I figured, like, that's the thing with Ice Shard. Sometimes people just, like, have mental lapses and forget about it. So maybe my opponent was just like, yeah, Foul Play knocks out the Incineroar, Flare Blitz knocks out a Bombus, now I win, right? But then, nope, Ice Shard comes out. Even then, I don't know, I don't remember how much the initial Flare Blitz did. I was thinking maybe my Incineroar actually could have survived, and then I can just low kick to knock out. But if it actually did end up critting my Bombus, so if it crits my Incineroar, surely I lose like 100%. But yeah, that was a really fun episode, a longer one, but like I mentioned, I've been missing out on uploads, so trying to bring you guys some more content as a result, and more games, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. So yeah, it's gonna be it for this one. As always, if you do enjoy, please show your support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Alright, peace.